All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you right there, just like me right here. All right, before we get going, because I've been plugging this sucker for weeks and weeks now, this is Lone Rider, Sundown, which is my favorite album of 2022 thus far, courtesy of our friends over at Escape Music. Steve Overland, legendary lead singer, Chris Childs on bass, Steve Morris playing guitar, and legendary drummer Simon Kirke from Bad Company. Yes, you heard it right. Simon Kirke, Bad Company. Does this sound a little like Bad Company? I think so. If Bad Company were recording new music, you'd want it to be like this, right? This, in my estimation, is better than a lot of the Badco albums from the Paul Rodgers years because it's start to finish, one great song after another. Depending on your feelings about Bad Company, a couple of their albums, there are a few songs that you would consider to be like filler, but because it's so classic now, I like most of the filler. I'm just saying this is just one great song after another. Really brilliant, and people should either buy it, stream it, share it, whatever you can do with this. Steve Overland, probably one of the finest vocalists ever. It's just a lot of people don't know who he is here in the United States, which it's depressing, people. It just kind of is. For The Who, a band that continues to tour, it's not depressing at all for classic rock fans because The Who is about to embark on another leg of their tour called The Who Hits Back. I know why they're hitting back, I guess because they're playing hit songs and they're still out there. I just never thought that Daltrey and Townshend would go out there again, but they are on the move again, and they'll also be accompanied by an orchestra, which obviously makes this a really interesting concert. But what I found out in a recent article is that Pete Townshend and Roger Daltrey really aren't buddies outside of work. They do what they have to do on the job. The relationship here between co-founding members was historically quite contentious at times, says an article, although the two seem to have developed a close bond during the latter years of the group's career. Now, Daltrey refutes this a little bit. He says, "Our relationship is a working one, and that's about as far as it goes." Ouch. But when we get on stage, there's a chemistry that's created, and when we're playing well, it starts to kick in properly, and it's still as wonderful as ever. He adds, "We never really had a strong relationship off of the stage, though. It's as simple as that." By the way, Roger Daltrey, 78 years old, can still sing. Now, has he lost a bit of his edge? Yeah, he has. But here's the deal. He's not embarrassing. He's not up there just barely, singing and not attempting to go where these notes go. Roger was always kind of a weird singer because he would just kind of let his voice rip and it would do whatever it was going to do. And that was his style. And I think in these days, he's just tried to keep that style going. It may be even quirkier than it was back in the 70s and 80s. Again, The Who are a band that have been focus tested off of playlists here in the United States to the point where you hear like Eminence Front, which is a great song, but you hear like, a handful of songs. Catalog this band has, bands would envy any band from the 60s to the 80s. Any band would love to have the body of work that The Who has. And it's sad that a lot of that music is no longer being played on American rock stations. And again, this is just bizarro world because you've got all of this music that is just going to lie dormant. I know. Go to Spotify, build your playlist, whatever you need to do. But if I were building a station, The Who would be a very important part of that music format. Just an incredible band. Anyway, Daltrey goes on to talk about his early influences, how he started singing in church, believe it or not, at 6 or 7 years old. And by age 16, he began to form what later would become The Who. So pretty cool. Again, the fall North American leg of the Who Hits Back tour begins in Toronto on October the 2nd. So if you're living in Toronto and you've survived the medical tyranny, the medical apartheid up there, and you know, you have to, I'm sure, jump through a bunch of hoops to attend the show, October the 2nd. And then the spring leg of the tour may continue. So that'll be next year. Or essentially it won't. I don't know. But we'll find out as this band continues to go out there and perform, which I think is pretty amazing. I think they have 2 dates in Vegas, November 4th and 5th. So if you're out in Las Vegas, you can go see The Who with a full orchestra, people. I mean, see, to me, that's worth it. That's the bucket list item. You get the full orchestra. Daltrey can still kind of sing, and Townshend can sing too. I mean, there are songs where they both have to sing. And then I think you got Simon up there, Simon Townshend, Pete's brother, who's up there with them, from what I remember from some of the concert footage, who plays some really incredible acoustic guitar and just guitar in general. So sounds a tad like his brother when he sings too. Anyway, folks, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Again, one more time for the boys in Lone Rider as we continue to plug this sucker. People need to check it out. The album's called Sundown. Also, for, you know, an extra added bonus here, we got their first album called Attitude right there. So these 2 albums, great album covers. See, this is the kind of stuff I love. In my wheelhouse all day long, 7 days a week, twice on Sunday. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.